Great. Call the meeting to order for business pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 3, review and approve minutes of November 2nd. Do you have any changes or?
Nope, I move to approve.
Questions?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. Item number 4, members report. Charlotte, you have anything for today?
No. I'm good.
I had someone ask me about the signing and with the parade coming down the road here. We talked about that with the last parade. Either training some volunteers or paying or having a training course or nothing's been brought up. Didn't know if there was anything coming down the line with that.
Yeah, so these boxes are here, are signs that the Parks Committee have ordered, they say parade ahead. There's 5 or 6 of them so that we can get every entrance coming into town. Pretty much only emergency personnel are authorized to do it, so it's gonna come down to fire departments or law enforcement. And we know law enforcement is gonna be strapped, so I believe they've caught a significant fire already. Because we haven't seen a lot of traction come from our department in terms of the traffic support. Smithfield Fire said that they would be willing to if they can fit it on the calendar, so that's what we're looking at, and it's a slightly smaller route for December, so that's all coming together. We've always said if we can't do it, then we can't do it, but we cannot have volunteers and they can't have a local training. They don't have the legal authority to control traffic.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Jill, that's it. Thank you. That's it.
So as far as we know, though, all of the holiday stroll and all that stuff's still gonna go on this year, like, because I just haven't seen anything yet. Is that everything still?
It's gonna go on, it's gonna be rolled out before the end of this week.
Okay,
With the election and everything else, it's just been a lot.
yeah,
And so it's gonna be very similar to what it was last year.
okay,
And hopefully we don't have to keep tapping the businesses to put money out and do things like that. We have a little bit of budget to work with here, which is helpful. And then we just want people to participate.
okay.
I don't have anything, and Matt has nothing. So item number 5, town manager's report.
The election went as smooth as it possibly could last week. It was high and low in terms of who was there and when, but a little over 1,500 votes for cast. We're up about 100 over the last cycle. Similar, the gubernatorial round. The local measure for property acquisition on Gilman Drive passed 61% to about 36%. So candidly, that was an overwhelming surprise to me. I thought it was going to be a lot closer than that, but we're proceeding with that. We'll bring that up a little bit later. But overall went well. We do have a few things we're going to tweak for the next election. We're probably just going to put it in for all elections going forward, but we'll see. MMA's been looking for somebody to fill the seat on the LPC, the Legislative Policy Committee. That is a division of MMA that is served by elected officials and appointed officials to set the lobbying priorities for the association. So we have unique priorities because we have waste management and things like that. Things like the waste hierarchy don't rate for us. We care about school share, we care about revenue sharing, things like that. So it was vacant. I didn't run for it. And they hadn't been able to fill it. So I have said that I will fill it. It's 1 day a month for probably 6 months out of the year. It's all sensitive to legislative sessions. And then it'll be heavier in 1 year than another, but we'll see how that goes and what's going to happen. But there's a lot going on with general assistance, unfunded mandates on towns, things like that. So it's all coming out of taxpayers' pockets, but obviously we want to advocate for what we can advocate for in your own mutual interest. So your nomination papers will be available next Wednesday, the 23rd. They'll be due back no later than January 5th. In the latest edition of the Bridge, I just started stuffing inserts where I did a description of what each elected board or committee member does, what their meeting frequency is, the member composition, trying to get people a little bit more informed. I've had a handful of people asking, oh, well, if I was on the select board, what does that entail? What's the commitment? What do you do? So I'm hopeful that it's a lengthy piece of paper because it's 6 or 7 committees, but the people will read that and maybe develop a little bit of interest, you know. Not ready for the select board, but I could definitely do budget committee.
Mhm.
I think the nomination process is a little, but hoping that that might drive some folks. And over the next couple of weeks, we're gonna be pushing that information out through social media just to try to create some awareness. The 25 signatures isn't difficult. You can take it to the holiday stroll, probably have it. So we'll see how that comes, but you know, not a lot of participation. I think there's 11 different openings, if you will, a 2-year term on sewer, 3-year term on sewer. This all here 500 is considered one. There's a lot of vacancies going to be coming up. So if you know people, encourage them to get involved or reach out to us. We're happy to talk to them.
So we had kind of, briefly sort of discussed having like an economic development committee. Is that something that's not going to be ready to put forward for stuff for this cycle? I mean, I'm just trying to think of like, if we can fast track that to try to get the.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of interest in that. There's the discussion about the TIP committee. Should the TIP committee be expanded or could a new committee be established to target the economic development measures? I think there's a lot of support publicly for an economic development committee with a broader scope, if you will. I honestly don't envision that to be the most productive committee as an elected body. I think that that's a better appointed committee where you have a
Okay. Sure.
application
Yep.
review process, look at qualifications, build a diverse board,
Yep.
maybe not what's popular, but what's best.
Okay, no, that makes sense. I
things
like that.
Yep.
Okay.
But no, and we need after the first of the year, and maybe it'll be March is when we take a look at it, but setting up guidelines for what that committee might look like if you're good, if you were to move ahead and establish that.
Okay.
The crack seal striping project is complete at the airport. I've processed that request for reimbursement today. We'll hold retainage till final inspection is completed, but we finally got that done. The heat pumps were installed on schedule, no issue. And we ended up recutting a check with the reduced amount the vendor's going to hold the burden while they wait for efficiency main to pay out so that we don't have to. We paid them the full check and they said, no, thank you. So continue to love working with people like that. Last week, there was a call that FEMA hosted about upgrades and revisions to flood maps in the Kennebec River.
That's so exciting.
So, yeah, it's a little lengthy here, but what you see are the kidney bean style layouts of the maps where it just like blobs it.
Yeah.
Because the river moves this way, it's got this inlet, and then it just goes out a distance. It doesn't take significant consideration of what actually floods, topography and things like that. So there's federal money, there's grant money coming in, and the state and feds are cooperating. They're looping us in and with county to say, we're gonna take this new technology, layers, and help get people out of the flood zone if they don't get money. So it's a lengthy process. It's probably 2 or 3 years, but for us, it's exciting because we have so much land.
Yeah.
They're gonna do like,
So many people paying
Yeah.
$4,200 a year for flood insurance for 200-year-old houses
Right.
flooded.
so they are, it will eventually create us a nice overlay. They're also doing the entire watershed, so that will all be mapped in for all of Norridgewock. So that's gonna be really
That's great.
nice, and the goal is to more accurately exclude people from the floodplain classification and reduce the total number of exclusion appeals that they see. So all that is a burden on the taxpayer when they're not appropriately there. So that's really cool, and we're looking forward to seeing that come about. And so I've given them my time last week while I'm out of the office to learn more about that. So that's really good, and I've got some test sites if you want to take a look at something like that to see how it would come through. Just reach out. Waste Management has submitted their solid waste application to the state as well as their NERPA application for the transfer station on Airport Road. We're expecting that the local application of the planning board site plan review application will come in. They were calling the other day about forms and fees, so I think tentatively it's going to be a December start to that, but they may wait till the first of the year. The prospect of rolling out the food pantry, if there are volunteers that you're aware of, please direct them to reach out to me. We're keeping that list going, and we'll re-extend communication to those people once we have a little bit more guidance moving forward after closing, lining up with Good Shepherd, and moving forward. One of the things with the 501c3 that I'm looking at there, I've got to reach out to the Cochranes. They already have a 501c3, the Norridgewock Community Food Cover. Why reinvent the wheel? Could they just transfer it over to us and reestablish the board of directors? Seems to make sense to me. But I have yet to make that connection. It'd be something, we tabled everything with the pushback that we heard in public hearing, one public hearing in particular. We kind of paused on everything. to make sure that things lined up so we weren't wasting resources. There are also a couple other grant opportunities and private donor opportunities that we're going to be pursuing to help us offset the cost of the investment and the expense for development. So I will be curious to see how that comes together, but that was paused when we heard significant pushback. We didn't want to go to these potential donors and say, hey, we've got this and then have it defeated locally. So more ducks are in a row, and that should be a positive thing for us moving forward. 30-day notices on sewer scheduled to go out tomorrow. Bank rates, we're finally able to get a handle on that. Across the board, all of our accounts, regardless of the balance in each of the accounts, that'll be at 1.5%. We were at 40 basis points now, so almost a 400% increase there on what we're going to be making. And then I took $1 million from our host account and have transferred that into a CD at 2.5%, trying to make a little bit more money work for us. That was a longer commitment than I wanted, but you know, it's safe. So after 6 months, we're going to review current rate situations. If anything goes drastically one direction or another, we've agreed to take another look at it. So nobody wants to get the raw end of that. And then your unpaid taxes. It doesn't seem that it's possible, but your name would be in the book after another month of not paying your taxes, and then your 2020 taxes, start to think about those if you haven't paid those. Those will foreclose on February 5th, and just before Christmas is when those notices of automatic foreclosure will go out. So we don't like to see the extra charges on people's accounts, but that's what typically happens. The town square, that's nearing completion for the season. There's a progress payment on tonight's warrant for majority of the work. We're going to hold back a couple thousand. They need to set the boulders and do a little bit more residual work, but that's looking nice there. And then Ashland Park project, the fill has been hauled in. I think that's actually complete as of today, and we're looking at some surface work and whatnot. This paperwork to the state on that grant needs to be submitted before the end of the month, so they're going to be working over the next 4 or 5 days to finish that up. The Colby College proposal that I've sent over to them, I circled back with them. I hadn't got a response, so they've redirected my inquiry so that hopefully we can get the Ashley Wing Tree Preservation historic project included in a potential program or internship opportunity there. Public Works, they've got their winter sand hauled naturally. We had hiccups along the way, but as a part of that, we were able to stockpile a significant amount of gravel. And that came to us at a discount because the pit on Madison Road has been sold. And the sellers retained the ownership of all the material that had been processed. So at a fraction of the cost, we haul extra material. And it's up in the yard. It's about $10,000. That's on the bill tonight. But we couldn't just leave gravel sitting there at the rate they were offering it to us for. So, and we had help trucking. So basketball sign up is November 30th. Pickleball is scheduled to start December 1st. And they're looking at a fixed schedule of Thursdays at 6:30. They are on Facebook, and that's going to be probably the best way to get in touch with them. Library trustee meeting, it will be early, got to be tomorrow because of Thanksgiving. The assessors have moved to the 29th because the assessing agent will only been in on Thanksgiving, and the holiday stroll will be December 3rd. And more information, you'll be seeing more of that drop out later this week in the first class.
Super, thank you. Item number 6, can I have a motion and a second on warrant number 22, and then we'll have a discussion on it.
I move that we approve warrant number 22 in the amount of $268,264.29.
Thank you. Any discussion? Give you a second to look it over.
What did the Farron Brothers and Smith Inc. do?
That was the gravel and
Okay.
sand that we bought.
Yep.
off them.
All right.
About 15,000 winter sand.
And is the Bergeron protective clothing, is that something that we've purchased for the fire department or, okay.
Ledger and Daughter, is that trucking?
They did our stockpiling.
Okay.
For salt sand. And there's another building there related to that, I believe. They fixed, in the process of hauling salt and sand, contractors did damage to the door. So, but it's also fixed that for us. We filed the insurance claim and already been reimbursed.
What was the Wheaton home improvements for the 1350?
They were actually a connection that the new fire chief has, in order to fix the fascia on one side of the fire station.
Really?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like a bad deal, like,
No,
Not with what we
the
got
goal
for-
was just to fix that one short second.
Yeah.
It was done, see how it weathers, and then if it worked, we could chip away or.
great.
Hurry, like,
Are they local? We. No.
Yeah, the invoice got paid.
Yeah, there wasn't an address, but it's somebody that Dave knew, so they're either Oakland, they're somewhere local.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was gonna deliver the checks.
All right, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? 3 in favor, 1 opposed. Item number 8. I have a motion and I'm sorry, item number 7, I have a motion and a second on airport warrant number 11.
I move that we approve airport, having a brain part here, in the amount of, $30,826.33 for warrant number 11.
And discussion.
How much do we get like, okay, so $5,600 rebate on those heat pumps, so we paid out the $42.75. Is that our total amount that we have to pay, or is that,
That is our total.
okay,
Yeah.
all right,
You signed that
On the last warrant, we paid the full amount, so that just
Okay.
got voided, and now this one's.
Right.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? It is unanimous. Item number 8, discussion and action on sewer commitment.
I move that we approve the sewer commitment in the amount of $16,924.50.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? That's unanimous. There's a line. And item number 9, public comments.
I want this meeting to be done by 6:30, but I have one quick little comment. My memory's going.
Is this new business or does
No, wait, no, my memory's going, but was Skowhegan's holiday stroll the first weekend and ours the second weekend, or was it vice versa?
Scouting into the first weekend, they're the third and we're the 10th.
As you said, the third, so it really is.
Oh. Yes, sorry. I gotta update my town manager's report to the website too. Got Nancy. Thank you.
All right, item number 10, discussion action on November 8th special town meeting minutes.
Do we just move to approve them? So moved.
Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? It's unanimous. Item number 11, discussion action on Gilman Drive property acquisition.
So I slotted this on your agenda because I didn't know what, if any, action you would need to take tonight. There's nothing in your packet about it. We sent this off to our attorney to make sure that things were buttoned up. And they've done the title research and everything else. We've elected to purchase title insurance for $291 just to cover us. They have checked out the sketch and whatnot for our tax maps. That's all been updated. So now we're looking at, just talked with her, 20 minutes ago. To close, hopefully before 12/9 would be the date to close on that. There are some legal fees. Typically, the seller's responsible for deed preparation, transfer tax paperwork and whatnot. Our attorney is offering to do that, but we would seek credit on that. So there's a few things in the air that we need to address with them first. It's moving. It's just a matter of getting it all done. So once we get that done, then we can talk to the shepherd about where we are and how we can do that.
Table that. for our next
Yes,
meeting.
please.
Can I have a motion to table that, please?
I move to table it. The next thing.
Any additional comments? All those in favor? It's unanimous. Item number 12, discussion act on cemetery quitclaim deed for Bernice J. Chase and Norman L. Chase, Sunset View Cemetery, northern half of lot 250.
I move to approve the quitclaim deed without covenants.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. Item number 13, other business. So you know what the business will close 13 and item number 14, a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Second. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you very nice. Have a nice night.
Thank you very much.